Yes, it's Larry Norton. Amazing, isn't it? I've hardly changed at all, and yet I am still different. 50 years later, with diabetes, many miles under my belt, as well as decades on the road of life, here I am since 2006, now also a citizen of Canada. So, hi again from beautiful BC. By the way, BC is also famously known as Green Cash, British Columbia. Forgive me please if I refer to my notes. I want to remember everything I wanted to tell you in this short video message. First of all, I do regret not making better contact with you, each and every one of you, at the previous reunions. At those times, I wanted to find out about you all. I wanted to know about your marriages and families. I wanted to ask your opinions on a huge number of issues, but I also wanted to share with you the gigantic shifts in my life, in my life's journey. So maybe I was too self-absorbed, wanting to explain about all the excitement in my life. I just didn't quite know how to break the ice at those reunions, to be brief and give you time to talk about yourselves. Being succinct and having patience to listen has continued to be a struggle for me. So at this point in life, I now have a lot to talk about. I have a lot to share, but not enough time. Those few past reunions I could attend, namely the 10th and the 25th, were only as my work schedule and finances permitted. However, I am now officially retired. I am finally ready to open up and pour my heart out to appreciate you, carefully listening to your stories and have you listen to mine. But I cannot be with you at this time. It is not due to limited finances this time, though coming from Canada would stretch my credit card resources. Instead, I've chosen at this time to be with my partner and husband, Lawrence Marshall. Yes, it's now 24 years of marriage. He is also known as the international recording star Larice. His successful music career is being rekindled. So imagine the opportunity at age 72, writing brand new music, singing, recording, and performing, taking advantage of the rebirth of vinyl records. Who knew? And I have a very crucial role as videographer of his performances. So we'll be in Vancouver, British Columbia. Lawrence will be singing his lungs out, and I am videotaping his performances. So that is part one of this video message. The other part comes now. But isn't this video technology great? I'm learning to like making videos. Anyway, that's a digression. I said I would be brief in this message, but you know me, long-winded and sometimes not brief. Do you remember this long-winded one? Quote, ask not what your school Pacifica can do for you, but ask what you can do for your school Pacifica, end quote. And with that sentence and a long-winded speech, I lost that election for student council president to a girl. Actually, Charlene, you were the better candidate for president at that time, and besides, first semester president Chris Wargo had already broken the ice for having a female student council president. So, yes, don't you guys agree? It was time the men started to let the girls into leadership roles. I want you all to know I did recover from that humiliation. And the pattern began in 1966 for me to always find a way to turn to positive any negative experiences in my life. Losing can be winning. So actually, thank you, Charlene, for helping me learn a valuable lesson about turning the negatives and positives And do you, class of 66, remember when you let the class photographer tell me to be like a good boy and sit in front with the other class officers when taking the class photograph? Did any of you guys try to save me from humiliation? If so, I don't remember you now. Just look at this picture with all those girls in the front row. And who is that in the very middle front row of the picture? Now, it seems ironic to me that Larry Norton is the only guy among all those girls. There is no sign or clue that the center front row was reserved only for the class officers. So why was class president Chris Wargo not in the middle front row, I asked myself? And why did Treasurer Glenn Johnson not show up for filming our picture? That leaves me looking like an oddball. And as class vice president looks like I made a mistake listening so intently to the photographer's insistence that I sit there. Is that really why I'm there? Was I the class oddball? Anyway, now today, I'm being seated with all the other girls, those beautiful women. It's just dandy, and I'm no longer humiliated. Well, that was then, and this is now. Look at these Pacifica High School Spartan Shield newspapers covering 1962 to 1966. Here is 1962, 1962, 1963, 1963, 1964, 1964, 1965, 1965, and 1966, and look what they did to us. Spartan Shield for 66. Finally, the final issue, 1966. I wish I could be there with you to show in person the old newspapers, especially before they crumble away. Did anyone else save these, or am I alone in this? Oh, and I'd like to ask Stephanie or Joan or any of you who helped on the newspaper, what really did happen to the money for the school paper? Why couldn't we have the usual number of editions for 1966? Were we ever told why? Or is it me? Maybe we were told, but am I now starting to forget things? Or did I lose some copies? Well, before I start questioning my memory at this age in my life, I trust and I must try to wrap up this message. I admit that sometimes I forget some of your names. At least I have the school yearbooks to help refresh my memory. But since I don't know what some of your married names are, and I don't know much about your kids or grandkids and now great-grandkids, maybe you can please reach out to contact me. Would you please feel free to communicate with me to talk further? I like sharing stories. Please, here is the contact information. Email me at nortonnet@aol.com. That's nortonnet, all one word. Please send an email to me from my phone number because I'm not listed in the Kelowna, BC phone directory. Kelowna, K-E-L-O-W-N-A, Kelowna. Yes, I am on Facebook. Search for Larry Norton. Yes, I have a channel on YouTube. That's Larry Norton in Canada. So, to all the Pacifica Spartans, the class of '66, have a great 50th year reunion, and thanks for listening to my message. This is Larry Norton here, finally saying, cheers! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray for the Spartans. Bye!